y'all see my little full-length mirror? I'm trying to get dressed and get ready to go. And I think I need a new toothbrush or something. I'm gonna have to stop wearing this dress because it's quickly become one of my favorites. I'll be looking snatched in this dress. But I'm getting ready to go out, and I'm talking about possessiveness today. Being possessive over your trauma. Being possessive over your trauma. Peace and greetings, Goddess. Welcome, Goddess Ebony. It is always such a honor, blessing, offering, pleasure. Insert any one of those words in to see you pop up in any forum that I happen to be in. So give me some grace, because I am trying to tie. I don't know how everybody does this. How do y'all tie y'all back stuff there? Peace and greetings, Goddess of Kenya. How do y'all tie your back stuff? Like, am I the only one who be like, this is why I need people around? This is why I need people. Why do you need people? So people can tie the things in my back. Okay. So, today's topic, and y'all know I'm brand new. Y'all know I'm brand new because I haven't had internet in like weeks, like really good internet. I've been in the coast of Mexico in a small village for an African dance and drum festival, and I have not had proper internet. And I did not realize how poor I would feel not having internet. Like I was feeling real poor, y'all. I was feeling real poor not having proper internet. I'm like, I can't check no emails. I can't do no work. My life is just not even my life. So at any rate, peace and greetings, ladies. Peace and greetings, gentlemen. Today, I am talking to you about being possessive over your trauma. Listen, and y'all don't judge any of my my hygiene choices. I'm definitely going to be using neem toothpaste. This is actually made in Illinois, but they sell it in Tanzania. Who would have known? But it has neem and green tea. So, and I'm not promoting for them because they ain't sent me no check. Okay, so we're talking about possessiveness of trauma. You're being possessive with your trauma, and you need to stop it. Now, listen. Everyone knows that doing spiritual work is not necessarily, it's not a 1-2 step. Doing spiritual work is not, it's not a walk in the park. You know, when you decide, one of the reasons that people decide to do spiritual work is because they are tired. Yes, tired, exhausted from doing the same stuff, from living the same basic life. You get exhausted. You get exhausted having the same damn friends who not, making 6 figures, who not teaching you nothing, who not helping you to be your best self. Like, that gets old, that gets tiring. And I am using charcoal to brush my teeth. So it is what it is. Facebook and possibly YouTube, whoever watches this, my mouth is going to be black for a little second while I get these teeth white. Okay. And the charcoal, if you want some of this charcoal, it is activated charcoal and it is raw. And when we go on the retreat to Rwanda, you'll be able to buy some of the charcoal if you want. I use it on my teeth and on my face. So at any rate, and the retreat is in September. Okay, so spiritual work, it's not a walk in the park. You're not patty caking, blah, blah, blah. But what I am observing is a new trend. What I'm observing is people who know that they are exhausted, who are really exhausted from their lives, who are really like, this is not working, this sucks. The relationships that I have in my life are not ideal. The dreams and the goals that I have, I'm not reaching them. Who know that they're not making progress and progressing in life, but who become possessive about their trauma. And what do I mean when I say being possessive about trauma? I mean that instead of taking an active approach and saying, you know what, this is messed up, I don't want to live like this anymore. What they're doing is saying, you know what, this is my trauma, this is my hurt, and I don't want to expose myself. People have become increasingly afraid of putting themselves out there. People have become increasingly afraid of being vulnerable. And vulnerability is becoming a measurement of the real from the fake. From what you say you are going to do versus what your actions are reflective of. Like, it's levels to this. It's levels to this. When you say you want something, when you say, you know what, I want to improve and this and that, and I want to live my best life and blah, blah, blah. When you say that, and then you do something opposite to that, who do you deceive? Who are you setting up for failure? Because I'm not affected by that. So it's you versus you. When you are so attached to your trauma, like let's talk about that. Why are you attached to trauma? Like why are you attached to the things that have happened to you? Right? Like let's say I went out on Tuesday, and when I went out on Tuesday, somebody stepped on my foot and it hurt. Right? It really hurt my foot. I had on open toe shoes, it hurt my foot. How long am I going to hold on to that? How long am I going to sit in that? How long am I going to sit in the essence of that pain? How long am I going to be angry and upset? This person she stepped on my foot and now here I am. It's been a week. It's been days. It's been months for some of you. For some of you, it's been years. And instead of being willing to open yourself up and move on, you sitting up here being possessive and attached to what? Trauma. I want you all to understand how wild and crazy this is. Being attached to trauma is being attached to something that doesn't even exist anymore outside of your physical body. Get ready, y'all. I'm be talking with black tea. Okay, so I'm talking with black tea for a little minute. I just want to give my teeth some charcoal. Being attached to trauma, being attached to something that happened and that hurt you, right, is being attached to something that no longer even exists outside of your physical body, outside of your mind. It doesn't exist. It's over with. It's done. It's done. But instead of you moving on, you're being possessive. You don't want to share it. You like holding on to that burden. You like being hurt. You like being stressed. Some of you are possessive about the trauma because you like being the one that people feel sorry for. Oh, look, feel sorry for me. Someone hurt me 5 years ago. I don't want to put nobody's business out there, but y'all know I have a habit of doing that. So I have a close friend, right? And I'm going to let the charcoal sit. It's actually in between my teeth. I'm going to let it sit here. Because what it does is it works into the parts that are not crystal white. And y'all, charcoal is clutch. You can actually sprinkle some of the charcoal in your water and drink it. And it'll help deworm and it'll help you release parasites. So charcoal is really something I've had to learn a lot about. But at any rate, so I let's just say I have a friend, and my friend has a nephew. The nephew is, let's say, 18, and has been through a series of trauma, okay? Extensive trauma, okay? From since he was a child, just traumatized from his father, traumatized from his mother, traumatized from school, traumatized from his upbringing, just heavy duty trauma, right? And this particular young man, you know, he has developed a personality trait of being very recluse, you know, not wanting to be around other people, sometimes being sporadic with his attitude, just being very recluse. And, you know, it's fine to be quiet, it's fine to be withdrawn or not a people person, but we're speaking about his personality being the way it is because of the things that he has been through. Okay, give thanks and praise. Now, I speak to my friend, you know, and ask her, you know, how is your nephew? And she says, he's having a baby. Okay? This nephew who has been through a series of trauma, who has lived a life full of trauma, who has been traumatized over and over again in his childhood, has now found someone who matches him vibrationally, because that's the only people that we date. We date people who are a vibrational match for us, right? So he has found someone who matches him vibrationally, and they have come together to copulate and to now bring life into this world. These people who are traumatized children, essentially, because at 18 years old, you still know nothing, okay? These two young adults, 18, traumatized children, are now bringing a baby into this world. And some part of me has already started to pray for this baby, has already started to just speak life and hope and prayer and safety over this baby. Because you are looking at a mother and a father who have both been through heavy wounding and heavy battle in life and have done nothing to heal from that. And now they're having a baby. And I bring this up because some of you are being possessive of traumas that have happened as a result of your parents, as a result of the people who brought you into this world. Some of you have been traumatized by your own parents so deeply in your childhood. And instead of you being transparent and vulnerable and willing to release that, what you do? You hold on. This mine. This my trauma. This happened to me. And let me tell y'all about what happened to me. And let me tell y'all about who hurt me. And let me tell y'all who didn't love me. And let me tell y'all about my toxic. Listen. Linda. Ain't nobody this is 2022. Some of you are 40 years old. You left your mama's house at 18. That is 22 years. That's 22 years. Let's do the math. 40, right? 18, you're gone, okay? So that's 22 years for you to do what you need to do. That means you have had responsibility for longer than your parents have had responsibility. Look at that. Let me ask you a question. At a certain point of adulthood, whose responsibility is it to heal whatever has happened? Okay, so somebody slapped you when you was 4. Okay, give thanks and praise. You're 36 now. When do we heal from that? When do we let that go? When do we say enough is enough? Let me address that. Let me be willing to move forward beyond that. And the thing about being possessive of trauma, y'all don't judge my place. I just took everything out of my suitcase. Um, the thing about being possessive of trauma is that I compare your spiritual body to your house. You know, everything is the house. You know, your spiritual body, you, who you are, that's your house, right? The thing about being possessive of your trauma is that is like hoarding. It's hoarding. It's spiritual hoarding. It's emotional hoarding. It's this all of look at my boo-boo. Look at my boo-boo. And we are too grown. Some of us have children. Some of us have children, and what are you teaching your children to do about hurts and pains and things that have happened to them? What are you teaching them to do? Are you teaching them to move forward in life, or are you teaching them to be attached to the things that have happened to them? Because attachment is the root of all suffering. Ask Buddha. Go look it up. Go look up, what does Buddha have to say about attachment? Being attached is the root of all suffering. Being attached is. So when you are being possessive, you are literally being possessive of your trauma. When you're literally doing that, you are literally making a dynamic choice to stay in a house full of shit, full of boxes, full of old papers, full of cobwebs, full of a whole bunch of nothing. Because you aren't willing to be vulnerable. Stop that. Stop that. Be willing to be vulnerable. Can I be honest with you? One of the reasons that people don't want to be vulnerable. One of the reasons that people don't want to be vulnerable is because they're afraid of judgment. People don't want to be vulnerable because they're afraid of judgment. Okay? But anytime somebody voices that and says, I'm afraid to open up. I'm afraid to talk about what happened to me. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. And they talk about that fear of vulnerability. I immediately know they're afraid of judgment because they spend so much time judging others. The judgment that they're afraid of is actually the judgment that they give to everybody else. That's what they're really afraid of. And it's time. It's like, when does this end? Is this indefinite? When does this end? When do you actually make the decision that, you know what? Things have happened to me. Things that have made me less of who I truly am. Like, that's not even who I am anymore. That's not even who I am anymore. I had to commend and praise my students who came back from the retreat in Tanzania, because every single one of them who went on this retreat with me in Tanzania, they changed so thoroughly. They changed so thoroughly that they literally had to come back and reintroduce themselves to people who knew them before. Every single person who came on my retreat changed so thoroughly. Everything that they asked for at the retreat, they received it. Everything that they manifested, they received it. And it hasn't even been a full year since the retreat. So they had to come back and introduce themselves again to people because they leveled up in such a way. And that's what life is, a series of opportunity to level up. To level up, to level up, to level up. But if you are not leveling up, it's because you are holding on. You are being possessive. You are clasping your hands around something. And usually that something has to do with physical trauma, emotional trauma, or mental trauma. And it can be at any stage in life. So if you're being possessive with your trauma, stop. Stop. If you're sitting out thinking, you know what, like, I really want to blah, 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 but I don't want to tell people my business. I don't want to tell people what happened to me. You know, the thing about what happened to you is that you're not the only one. You're not the only one. It doesn't matter what situation. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You are not the only one. I was watching a Facebook Live with one of my sisters, one of my Sacred Women sisters, Toy, and she was interviewing our facilitator. And, you know, it was just a interview about her life. What is a life story and etc. And, I listened to the entire interview, and I was very surprised to hear that there was so much sexual trauma and sexual molestation present in her life before the age of 9, before the age of 9 years old. And even though I was surprised about that, what I was even more surprised at was the fact that the host, Toy, simply said, I can relate. 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 Half the time when you become possessive and when you are possessive of your trauma, you do yourself a disservice because you are dismissing the energy of relatability. Relatability is the foundation of relationship. Relating. And when you become when you are possessive, when you are in possession of trauma, when you hold on to it like it's an award, it's not an Academy Award. You don't get anything. You don't get anything. You get nothing for being so attached to who did what to you and when they did it. You get nothing. There is no reward. There is no pot of gold waiting for you. There is no pot of gold waiting for you for being attached to somebody doing something to you. And I know that for many, it's like, it seems like it makes sense to be possessive over this trauma. It seems like it makes sense to be in a place where, this happened to me and I have to talk about it, or I have to deal with it, or, I am who I am because of it. But in reality, none of those things are true. You don't have to be attached to it. It's a waste of energy. And like I said before, that thing, whatever happened, it no longer exists. It no longer exists, right? If it happened in 2001, guess what? It's no longer here. This is 2022. If it happened in 1987, it's not here. If somebody cussed you out in 2020, these things no longer exist. So why are you so possessive of them? Why are you still holding on to it? Let it go. 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 And remember that you do yourself a disservice. An emotional disservice, a spiritual disservice, a mental disservice to allow the things that have happened to you to take residence in your body, to take residence in your mind. That is storage. Those are old boxes. Those are old clothes. Those are old things. If a friend deceived you, if a lover deceived you or lied to you or did you wrong, the responsibility for you is for you to find peace, for you to find resolution, for you to find a way to release whatever's hurting you. Because that's all trauma is. Trauma is old pain that is just lingering. It's a trauma. Something happened. There's pain as a result of what happened. And that pain continues to linger. That's trauma. That is trauma. That is the basis. That's the foundation. That's the energy of trauma. So when I talk about the possessiveness, it's like that's what I'm seeing these days. Everyone knows that I work with people who have been traumatized. They've been traumatized in childhood very often. And as a result of the childhood trauma, y'all see my little outdoor patio space. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it lovely. I don't need much. When people talk about greenery, I'll be like, I don't need 100,000 plants. And anyways, y'all know I'm still nomading. I'll be nomading for the next month or so, and then I'll be done. Sort of, kind of, give thanks and praise. All right. So, yeah, again, y'all know I have a habit of telling people's business, sometimes. But lately, I've been getting a lot of people who, well, not a lot, but I've gotten quite a few women who've come to me and who've said, these are the things I'm dealing with. Whether it be complications in relationships, romantic relationships, whether it be complications and challenges and stress with children, even if it's broken relationships with family members. Okay. So these are the primary things that they have been dealing with. And when I say, okay, you've been dealing with these things, and, have you considered joining our membership, which is Chambers of a Goddess, or taking a class, then there's this resistance. There's this hesitation. There is this, wait a minute, I don't know about that. And when I probe a little bit and ask, what's up? What I hear is, I'm afraid. And I'm afraid, to put my business out there. I'm afraid to tell people what happened to me. I'm afraid to share these things that are in my life with others. And I'm not one to pressure anybody to do anything that they don't, that's not aligned with who they are. Like, I live my life in complete alignment, and I don't apologize for none of it. Yesterday, I got up off the plane, walked down the stairs, and I was like, dang, I really wanted to take a video of me walking down the stairs at the airstrip, at the airport. So, baby, I waited at the bottom of the staircase, for everybody to finish walking. And while I was waiting at the bottom of the staircase, people kept coming over to me and telling me to leave, come over, leave, you need to go. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not going. I'm going to stay right here. So after about the fourth employee, telling me that I need to go, I noticed that people stopped walking down the stairs. So I was like, all right, let me show this dude how to record me on Snapchat. Let me let the wheelchair guy record me so I can go ahead and get my video. Baby, they sent a big old Mexican over there. And that big dude talking about something, yo, you need to go. Listen, sir, first of all, I don't care how big you are, okay? I said I'm going to go get my video walking down this staircase, and damn it, I'm going to get my video walking down this staircase. So he was being very aggressive and, all that type of stuff. And people don't know, I'm 5'1". But, I got the heart and soul of an 8-foot tall giant. You feel me? It's an 8-footer up in here. It's 8 feet. Okay. So I was like, you can hub, you can pub, you can blow the house down, baby. I'm getting my video. So I proceeded to start my Snapchat, and because he scared the wheelchair guy. The wheelchair guy didn't want to do it no more. Got my Snapchat and walked up the stairs to take my video. Okay? Because ain't nobody going to check me. Who going to check? Who's bigger than me? Who am I supposed to be afraid of? Who? What human being? And then I had to tell him in Spanish, like, yo pago mucho dinero para mi boleta. I pay a lot of money for my ticket. So yo puedo grabar un video si yo quiero. I can take a video if I want. You're not my boss. You're not my boss. Estoy bien. I'm good. You're not my boss. So all of that to say, I'm not one to pressure anybody to do anything. That's not my MO. I'm not pressuring anybody to do anything. The things that I advocate for are things that are in alignment with who you are. If it's in alignment for you to be in a house that's full of shit, be in your house, baby. If it's in alignment for you to be in a house and to be repressed and suppressed and depressed, Be. Whatever is in alignment for you, be. But when things are not in alignment, when you wake up and you realize, wait, this is not in alignment. This is not who I am. This is not a reflection of what I want. This is not a reflection of how I think. This is not a reflection of what's in my heart. This is not a reflection of me. And it can be hard to admit that. It can be hard to admit that. It can be hard to admit that this life that I'm living is not it. Everybody want to flex, no flex, zone, no flex. Everybody want to flex. Everybody want to flex. They want to post good pictures on Instagram. They want to post good pictures. Go post, let me get this photo shot. Flex. One thing I am not about is that flex life. I am about being. I'm an advocate for you being, not flexing, not doing, not even trying. You know, I had one young lady come to me and she said, I got these goddess vibes and etc. I said, baby, I don't have to have goddess vibes because I'm a goddess. It's no vibrations attached to that. It's just goddess. This is a goddess. This is a queen. So I don't have to have the vibration of it. I am it. So it's about being. And being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning and you are stressed. Or when you are waking up in the morning to your worries. When you are waking up. And I can speak on it because I've been there. When you wake up and there's something on your mind. There's something on your heart. And you're stressed. That means that you are not functioning in alignment. Okay? And that is a measurement of alignment. And I can speak on that because I am the most aligned individual I know. I'm divinely aligned. And when I wake up in the morning and I can breathe clearly, I can step outside, I can be in the air, I can be in the sun, I can do my prayers, I can do my rituals. That is alignment. But when I'm going to sleep at night, if I'm going to sleep at night and I can't sleep, I cannot sleep, I cannot relax, I cannot bring my mind into a state of peace. When there's something that has hurt me in the past, and it's still present on my heart, that's no way to live. That's no way to live. People can say anything that they want to say, but our lives are testaments about our measurements of happiness. Our lives. And I'm not talking about, I'm posting the trip because I went to Cancun. I'm posting the trip because I went to Puerto Rico. Let me tell you something. Nobody who's watching this video has traveled more than me. I have out-traveled everyone who has ever come into direct contact with me. Period. Because I'm on flights at least 10 times a month. 10 times in a month. Okay? I am a nomad, baby. I am me in flight gang. Okay? So nobody has out-traveled me. And it's not about that. It's not about that. It doesn't make sense to post that video of you, riding high in Hawaii, when in reality, it's a flex because at home and at night and in the morning, when you're alone, you're suffering. You're hurting. You're alone. You're in isolation. You don't feel good about yourself. Your heart has trauma. Your heart is carrying scars. And can I be honest with you about some of this scarring? It's like, the things that happen to us in adulthood, okay, give thanks and praise. When you're grown, things are going to happen. That's granted, okay? When you're grown and you working at a job, you get fired, okay. You get in a car accident, okay. Traumas, yes, adulthood. Things happen in adulthood, fine. We're talking about some of you are still holding on to the childhood trauma. The things that have happened to you before you had any control. The things that other people did to you when you were just an innocent child. Why are you being possessive about childhood trauma? Let that go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Stop being possessive about that. Let that go. Let that go. Because remember, I compare everything to your house. Your spiritual body is your house. This physical body is my house. This is my temple. This is my house. This is my house from head, my crown, all the way down to my feet. This is my house. I live here. I live here. I live here in this body, in this heart. I live here. Okay? And because I live here, that means that everything that I keep inside of my body, it affects my life. So when you think about your house, right? Let's think about your heart as let's think about it like your bedroom. Your heart is your bedroom, okay? If something has happened to you that has hurt you, and you decided to become possessive of that hurt, possessive of that trauma, that is equivalent to you moving one box into your bedroom. So you move one storage box into your bedroom. Something happened, it hurt you. That box is full of the hurt. You put that box in your bedroom. That is your heart, okay? So for those of you who haven't done no work, we're going to have to break this down. In a year, the heart experiences hurt. Regular basis, okay? Let's say we deal with 5 hurts a month as a child. Because, children can be very emotional, very sensitive, depending on how you were as a child. So 5 hurts a month. So 5 things happen to you in a month as you're 4 years old. We're going to take those 5 things and we're going to multiply it times 12 months. Okay? We're going to multiply it times 12 months. So that's 60 boxes in your bedroom. 60 storage boxes of hurt in your bedroom. And that's from 1 year. And I'm speaking to those of you who had toxic parents. If you grew up with toxic parents, with toxic situations, even if it was toxic siblings, okay? 60 boxes of hurt stored in your bedroom from 1 year. So now we're looking at, we got 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. Okay? So we're going to take those 60 boxes of hurt, and we're going to multiply it times 7. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's 420 boxes in your bedroom. How can you walk in there? Who can walk in there? By the time you get 15, it's filled to the brim. By the time you get 18, the boxes are now coming outside the bedroom, into the living room, into your kitchen, into your bed. So at a certain point, you like, dang, I can't even get to the bed. So you take the boxes and you start storing them in the basement. You start storing them in the attic. But by the time you get 18, that 420 boxes, that has doubled, baby. That's 840 boxes. Because y'all know I'm good with the math, with the numbers, babe. I'm good with the numbers. That's 840 boxes of stored hurt, of stored memories, of stored trauma, of severe pain. And that's pain that you are you're accumulating it. It ain't nowhere else. It's not in the other person's house. It's not in a storage facility. It's not nowhere else but inside of your temple, inside of your heart. So you start taking stuff out of the heart space and putting it in the basement. You put it in the attic. You put it in the closets. But guess what? Eventually, with 840 boxes, that gets filled up too. So that's only by the time you're 18, 840 boxes. Some of you are in your 30s. Some of you are in your 40s. So let's double that 840. 1,780 boxes of hurt and pain and trauma stored in your physical, emotional, and spiritual body. Stored, just sitting there, taking up space. And for what? Why are you so possessive of this trauma? Why are you so possessive of this hurt? Can I tell you something that somebody had to tell me a long time ago? You are not who you are because of your hurt. I used to think, oh, I am who I am. This is what happened to me, and I am who I am because of it. That's not true. That's not true. It's actually not true. It's actually not true. You are who you are. You are who you are. Let's take a very big hurt and let's minimize it. Let's take a big hurt like someone stealing from you. Someone stealing $1,000 from you. Maybe a family member was supposed to give you some money and did not, or took money. Let's minimize that into someone stealing $10 from you. Okay? You are not who you are because your cousin stole $10 from you. You're not who you are because of what has happened to you. So stop holding on to these boxes and boxes and boxes of trauma. These are old boxes. They need to be discarded. Some of them need to be burned. Some of them need to be burned and severed. You got over 1,000 boxes. Some of you have more than 2,000 boxes of trauma because you refuse to look at it. And that's the vulnerability. That is the symbol of transparency and vulnerability. When you go in one of those rooms, when you go in the attic, when you go in the basement and you peel that box back. When you open that box and you look in that box and you sit with those feelings. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Don't let nobody ever tell you that doing spiritual work is easy, because they're lying. It's not easy. It's not easy to sit with your demons, to sit with the things that have happened to you, to sit with the feelings of who hurt you. It's not easy. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. And I know sometimes when you look at me, you see me over here on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, you see me and I'm thriving. You see me and I look like new money. My brother called me this morning and he's like, sis, like, you're not even a human being no more. You're just an element of nature, because your skin's on fleekity-fleek. Like, great. Give thanks and praise. All that is all well and good. But the reality is that I do my work, baby, and I have done my work. I have done my work. When I tell you I have done my work, I have done my work. I've done things that I really don't want to do. Let's just call a spade a spade. I've done things that I really don't want to do, but I have to do it in order to elevate myself. I've sat and I've cried publicly in ways that I did not want to cry. Some of my lives, I've cried. Some of my lives, I've sat up to tell a story about something that happened. One of the most tragic things that happened in my life is going to jail at 9 months pregnant. Who wants to talk about that? And who wants to talk about that to the public? But I give thanks and praise. Your girl ain't no celebrity life coach. It ain't a million people watching my video. So, it feels good to talk and still feel like I'm speaking to my family, still feel like I'm speaking to friends, still feel like I'm speaking to an intimate circle of people. Because who wants to talk about that? Who wants to talk about the possible trauma? Because at the time that I went to jail, I'm 9 months pregnant. I'm carrying my son. So now I'm thinking, damn, I'm in jail. I'm pregnant. But I have this baby in my womb and it's a boy. So now this is a black boy who is in his mother's womb, who's in jail before his life even gets started. Like, what kind of toxic mama am I? Like, I felt guilty. But I still had to sit with that. I still had to look at that. I still had to go to that box before I even filled it up. I had to sit and open that box and be with that. And take full responsibility for that. And forgive myself for that. It is not easy. It is not easy. But you know what? I choose the path of elevation. I choose the path of freedom. I choose the path of generational healing. I choose the path of ancestral blessing. I choose to be who I am so that my granddaughters never have to even consider some of the challenges that I have been through. I get the bigger picture. It's not just about me. It's not just about me. And it's not just about you. What do you really want for yourself? What do you really want for your family? What do you really want? Because we don't get it unless we're willing to name it. We don't get it unless we're willing to acknowledge that we desire it. What do you really want? Do you want to sit and, this is my trauma. This is what happened to me. So what? Something has happened to all of us. Haven't we all been through something? Even when we look at these celebrities, we're like, oh, this celebrity this and this celebrity that. Baby, can't nobody tell me nothing about poor Kim Kardashian, because literally poor Kim Kardashian, her baby daddy sitting over there doing nonsense. Sitting outside her house. Ain't that some shit? Money ain't got nothing to do with it. Money has nothing to do with trauma. You can be a billionaire and still be traumatized. You can be a trillionaire and still have childhood trauma. So none of that means anything. That means absolutely positively nothing. But in reality, what does mean something is when someone is brave enough, courageous enough, bold enough, someone who loves themselves enough to say enough is enough. To say enough is enough. I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm finished. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm not dealing with this. This isn't mine, as a matter of fact. This isn't even mine. This isn't even mine. When you're dealing with the parental trauma and you say, you know what? My mom did X, Y, and Z. And at the time that she did X, Y, and Z, she didn't even know who she was. She met my daddy and they had sex. She didn't even know his last name. She didn't even met his parents. So she obviously wasn't capable or equipped at the time that she was doing her best to raise me. So let me just go ahead and acknowledge that. So you know what, all this right here, that ain't even got nothing to do with me. We're going to let that go. We're going to go in that box, open that box, look at that hurt, be with that hurt. And when we finish with that, we're going to throw that in the dumpster. We're going to throw the hurt. We're going to throw the trauma. We're going to throw all of that emotional baggage. We're going to throw that in the dumpster. Because can I tell you that you look crazy when you're carrying so much trauma and you sit up there and you try to have a relationship. Now you want to let somebody in your house, but your house is full of boxes. Because you hoarding. You hoarding stuff. You possessive. This happened to me. Look at what happened to me. Now you want to let somebody in your house and call yourself trying to be in a relationship? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Where they going to sit? Ain't no kitchen table around because it's full of boxes. It has emotional trauma and physical trauma prohibits you from having healthy relationships with other people. Because more often than not, because your house is so full of them boxes, what you're going to end up doing is attracting someone who is equally boxed, who is equally trapped. They're functioning at the same vibration of you. You are attracting each other. You are a vibrational match for each other. So that is all something to consider when you are, I don't understand why my relationships are like this. I don't understand why people treat me like this. I don't understand. If it's bae and you and bae are not on one accord, bae is showing you your reflection. If it's your friendships and you're saying either, A, I don't have friends. I don't have nobody who have my back. I don't have nobody who's loyal to me. I don't have nobody who loves me. Okay, well, do you love you? Are you loyal to you? Because some of the decisions that you're making, like bae, show that you don't even have your own bag. You don't even have your own bag. When you let people walk all over you, when you let people mistreat you, that shows that you don't have your own bag. That shows that you're not an advocate for yourself. You don't care about yourself. So why would we then expect someone to come in and care about you more than you care about you. That's not realistic. That's not realistic. It's not fair. Okay. So we got friendships, whether it's no friendships or toxic friendships, it's still a reflection. That's still what you attracted, right? Law of attraction. Y'all love law of attraction. Okay. It's other spiritual laws, but law of attraction says you are what you attract. So you attracted that. And why? Because your house is full of boxes. Your house is full of traumatic boxes that you refuse to let go of. And this is a thing. This is another thing. I'm probably going to have to number these out and really do an actual official workshop. Y'all want an official workshop on this? Because I can actually number it out and do it classroom style. I have tried not to be as formal of a teacher. I'm a very formal teacher and a very formal professor, and I love teaching and I love learning. But I feel like it's about to make a rebound because I love worksheets. I love workbooks. I love homework. I be giving people homework, don't even realize I'm giving people homework. So it's like that. So this is another thing to consider. Remember I said I'm not in the habit or in the space of trying to force you or pressure you or demand that you do anything that's not in alignment with who you are. Okay? That's not the point. It's not the point for me to say, do this because I did it. Negative. That's not that's not God is Queen Jah asked. Okay? If you see that on the post, that's not me. I didn't post that. But the thing about it is when people come to me, by the time someone makes it to me and they're expressing these challenges, these same type of challenges that I'm speaking about, whether it's the bae, whether it's the friends, whether it's the family drama, whether it's the personal challenges. The personal challenges look like, this ain't even my real life. Like, I don't even understand what kind of life I'm living. Like, I am not happy with this at all. Okay? Personal challenges. Or even work challenges. Like, I run my business and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or I'm working at a job and this job is giving me hell. Like, all of these things. When somebody comes to me, you are likely to get one of two suggestions. Okay? Because I only offer 3 primary services. But one of 2 suggestions. Take this class, join this membership. That's it. Take the class and join the membership. And why? Why do I say take the class? Why do I say join the membership? Why do I say take the compassion course? Why do I say that? Why not say come and do a coaching call with me? Why don't I say, go meditate. Let's do a breathwork session. I have been doing this work for 12 years. Count them. 12 years. I started with Camp Butterfly Bella. You can go check my receipts. Check the records. And I'm just going to hit this AC real quick. Hit the quan. Okay. So, Camp Butterfly Bella. That's where I started. Right? And what I will tell you is beyond doing a meditation session and beyond doing a coaching session, beyond all those things, when you have built your house, when you have a house that's full of trauma and a house that's full of these emotional and physical boxes, there's 2 things that you need to do. The first thing is you need to get somebody to come in and help you clear it out. That's the first thing. We don't all see hoarders. Have we not all seen hoarders? It's the same process. For spiritual work, it is the same process. With all of that stuff, all that junk in your house, you need to get assistance. Because a lot of times you lack the discipline. You lack the strength. You lack the emotional and mental fortitude to even figure out what to throw away, how to go about doing it. It's confusing. It's overwhelming. We're talking about childhood stuff that's happened since the age of 4, or some of you before that. So if things have been happening since you were a baby, if things have been happening since you were a toddler, now you grown as hell and you got all that stuff in your house. So it is overwhelming to try and to go in there and do it all yourself. I mean, again, I am not here to tell you what to do and how to do it. I can only tell you what I know that works. That's all I got. All I got is, well, you want to get to Mount Kilimanjaro? This is the way that I went to Mount Kilimanjaro, and I got there in 3 days. That's all I got. I've been traveling Mount Kilimanjaro for 12 years, and this is how I get there. That's all I got. That's all I got. You do you. If you don't even want to address the boxes in your home, give thanks and praise. Stay with them. Live with them. Die in the house with all those boxes. Live there, die there. Be with that. And when your children build their houses next to you, they build their houses next to yours, and you walk in to visit your children's house and you see, wow, their houses literally look like mine. Their houses are literally stacked to the brim with boxes. Then I just want you to remember again that at the root of suffering is attachment. Buddha said it, not me. Okay? Your children will do exactly what you do. So if you live vicariously through your trauma, guess what? Your babies will live vicariously through their trauma as well. Everybody don't want to hear this. So shout out to all you all who came in. You know, I know Goddess Ebony is here. Let me see. Okay. I know Goddess Ebony says, I know I go through things. I have been being more vulnerable and expressive. Give thanks and praise, because your voice is such an asset. Your voice is such an asset. And even, so let's go back, because I will get off track with that, but I'm coming back to that. Just like I said, hoarders. Think spiritual hoarders. So the first thing you got to do is get people to come on in and help you out. Help you clear some of that storage. Okay? And you're going to have to pay for that. What you thought? You're going to have to pay for that. You got to pay to help. If you got to clear your house out, if you got to call a junk team to come in and take junk out of your physical home, don't you have to pay for that? Okay. So when it comes to spiritual work, it's no different. If you got trauma that you've been holding on to for your whole entire life, and you're ready to release that trauma, you're ready to clear your house of that trauma, you're ready to let new furniture in, brand new furniture, you got to pay for that, baby. Okay? You got to pay to get someone to help you to do that. And you don't want to do all of that by yourself. You don't want to do all that by yourself. You don't have to do that by yourself. It's almost impossible, which is why, remember the two things I suggest, the course and the membership. Here's the team. Here's the community. Here are the people who have been through the process, who've already had to clear out their storage, who've already had to go do the work, who've already had to get in the mud. We're not new to this. We're not new. We're not new. It may be new for you, but it's not new for us. Welcome. We've been here. Bienvenido. Estamos aquí. Even my Spanish be sounding hood sometimes. Sometimes I be like, I'm speaking Spanish, but it's like, it's kind of hood Spanish. Okay? We've been here. We've been doing this. And stop looking at me and thinking, oh, look at her. She just looks beautiful and she just has it all together. It didn't happen like that naturally. It happened like that because I did the work. I did the work. I do the work. Even Friday, I got more work to do. I got more work to do Friday. I got to go to what's today? Today is midweek. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. I got work to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I got work to do Friday. Sometimes I don't want to do no work, y'all. Sometimes I don't want to do it. But I stay in it because I'm committed to my evolution. And I'm committed to the evolution of my family. The next 5 generations will not be like the last 5 generations. The next generation will not be like the last generation. I'm not accepting that. Thank you, Goddess. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Okay? And I got work to do tomorrow. I got work to do Friday. Then I'm going to have a lot of work to do after that, because I'm going on another journey. I stay in a place of transition. So that means that nobody can catch me slipping because I stay ready. But in terms of the average person is not doing what I'm doing. So yes, I get to look like this. Yes, I get to look like this. Yes. I get to look younger than I did when I was 22 years old. Show y'all a picture of me at 22. Y'all gonna be like, woo. Exactly. Yes, I continue to get better because I continue to go deeper. I continue to address the shadows. I continue to Are there demons in here? Hello, demons, come out. Let's talk. What's up? What you here for? What you need? What you want? I'ma do it. What cliff? I gotta jump off a cliff? Okay, which cliff? Okay, I gotta run through a burning fire? Okay, which fire? I was so shocked at the African dance and goddess, the African dance and drumming festival that I just attended in Mexico. I was so shocked because when it was about 3 people, when they looked at this arm, they immediately said, You've done this particular plant medicine ceremony? Yes, I have. I was shocked because not many people know what this represents. This is rites of passage. Okay? And these are my gates for this particular ceremony. You think I wanted to do that? No. I didn't want to do it. But I'm not willing to have any boxes in my house that don't pay rent. First of all, that box can't stay there. Nope. It gotta go. Basement clean on fleekity fleek. Attic clean on fleekity. You can walk in any closet in this temple, baby. You can open any door, any closet door in this temple. You can come in the bedroom if you are so invited. You can come in the kitchen. Everything is pristine. And that's because I'm going to do the work. And it's not easy. And nobody told you that the road would be easy. Okay? Nobody told you that. So stop being possessive. So remember, okay, so back to the hoarding. You go, if you're a hoarder, you go and you go get help. You get the dump truck. You get the garbage bins. You get everything. And you have to start throwing everything away. And that is where the transparency and the vulnerability comes up. Because now you are exposing yourself to other people. Now you are exposing all of the nastiness, all of the ugliness. Yes, it is nasty, and yes, it is ugly. You are exposing everything to others. And it is not easy to expose yourself to others. It's not easy to expose yourself to people who you don't know. It's not easy to expose yourself to people who you've never had a personal relationship with. It's not easy to come into a group and to say, listen, this is what has happened to me, or this is what is happening to me. That's not easy. That can be very challenging, very intimidating, especially if you're not in that place of being social like that. If you're not in that place of being open, generally speaking, being open, it can be challenging. But what I want you to know is there are things called sacred spaces. Okay? And I am not just telling you to stop being possessive of your trauma because it's 2022 and it's been a long time. I'm not just telling you to stop being possessive because of that. I'm telling you to stop being possessive of your trauma because right now there are way too many sacred spaces for you to still be doing that old stuff. For you to still be at home in that house full of shit and silent and alone and isolated. And I'm not making light of abuse. I'm not making light of women being physically abused. But once upon a time in our history, women were being abused without any recourse, without any legal follow-up, without consequence for the abuser. Like, it was common. And there wasn't a whole lot that could have been done about it at that time, because there wasn't a whole lot of laws that were established previously to assist women who were going through physical abuse. Okay, that was then. Now, there are so many resources for physical abuse. There are hotlines, there are chat rooms, there are circles and groups, there are emergency deployments that will come and pick you up and give you a place to stay. Like, there are so many resources and services for women who have been abused. It's the same way now when it comes to emotional and spiritual trauma. When you have that trauma and it's sitting all up in your temple, it's sitting all up in your house, and it's taking up every room, no. The goal is not to sit up there and say, you know what, now may be a good time for me to find a relationship. Hell no. Hell to the no. Nope. It's not time to find back. It's time to put the focus on yourself. It's time to put the focus on yourself. Okay? And putting the focus on yourself means I need to walk through this path, and I need to address myself, and I need to address these boxes. I need to address this hurt. I'm just going to go through the process. And I know that people are going to come in that I don't know, but I'm going to be brave. This is what that looks like. This is what healing looks like. This is what doing the work looks like. I know that I have issues. I know that I have things that I need to work on. And I know that at this point in my life, it's damn near impossible for me to get this done by myself. If I could have gotten it done by myself, I would have. I wouldn't still be sitting here 45 years old not getting these things done. So obviously I need another layer of assistance. So in this layer of assistance, I know this will require me being vulnerable. This will require me being transparent. This will require me stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to go through that process. Because I know that a bigger, brighter, better me is waiting on the other side. I know that I'm worth it. I am worth it. I'm willing to do it for myself because I'm worth it. I'm not sitting around waiting for someone to save me from myself. No, I'm not making excuses and saying, well, this happened to me as a child, so somebody should come and apologize to me for it. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to say, well, they knew better. I didn't know better. I was a kid. No, I'm not going to try to distract myself by taking care of everyone else around me, but not taking care of myself. Oop. No, I'm not going to try to weasel my way out of it by downloading another book on Kindle. Great, you read the 4 Agreements. Give thanks, give praise. Read Goddess Awakening by Goddess Queen Ja'as, because Goddess Awakening is going to tell you straight out, join the membership, enroll in the course. Period, point blank. That's it. No. Because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for crumbs. Every single time you avoid doing the work, you're saying to life, you know what? If you want to give me crumbs, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with crumbs, life. I'm cool with not being happy with my life. I'm cool with not having to show, not having anything to show for my life. I'm cool with all that. And why? Why? That's not the point. You weren't sitting here on earth to sit there and to crumb your way through earth. You weren't sent here to crumb your way through this. That's not the point. So let's choose. Let's choose. Go in that house. Go in that temple. Go in your place of residence, your spiritual, emotional body, and look around. You got over 1,000 boxes in there. It's time to do something. And the something that I advocate for, take the course. So I talked about the membership. Why the course? Because the course is going to teach you step by step how to not hoard again. The course is addressing, the compassion course addresses things like guilt, addresses things like forgiveness, addresses things like acceptance. Those are things that you need when you're working with the energy of trauma. Deep diving into yourself, deep diving into your foundation, creating a new foundation for you to love yourself. This is all about your foundations. And yes, when I hear you complain about what happened to you as a child, you're not wrong. Yes, those things happened to you. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, those grown people should have known better. And yes, all of those things contributed to why you feel okay with crumbing your way through it. Because at the foundation of you and love is you and this trauma that happened. So this is the reason why it's important to release that attachment to your trauma, to stop being possessive with your trauma. Because it wasn't even about you in the first place. It's not even yours. It's not yours. So it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. It's time to let go of the trauma that is not yours. Okay? So, let's see. I'm just going back through the comments to see if there's any questions. Are there any questions? Hey, guys, Ebony says, I think it would have been okay for a few days without internet. Honey, I was in the struggle, in the corner with no internet. Okay, Zarita says, I want to connect with you. All right, Goddess the King says, Ashe. Okay, and then going back to what Goddess Ebony says real quick with expressing the things that she has gone through. You know, there is an element, and I might do a separate video on this, but there is an element that not enough people give credit to when it comes to expression that is lodged in the science of healing. Expressing something is actually one of the ways that you can heal it. Okay? So when you hold everything in and you don't express it and you don't say anything, that is called suppression. And suppression leads to things like tumors, things like cancer, things like cysts, all kind of bodily dysfunction. Because remember, those feelings are in your house. Okay, your physical body is your house. So if there's something infecting the house, then that means there's something infecting the body. Okay, a lot of people don't know, but even things like cancer that we know is caused by casein and animal fat. Fibroids also caused by animal fat and etc. Emotional things feed it. So even though you may acquire this tumor or acquire this cancer or acquire this health condition from what you're eating, okay? So you're putting toxins or putting poison into the body, and that plants the seed in the body. Then what feeds it is the emotional dysfunction. What feeds it is the anger. What feeds it is the sadness. What feeds it is the resentment. What feeds it is the stress. That's what expands that fibroid and makes the things bigger. And then the food continues to expand it. So the white flour and all this other type of stuff continues to expand it. So either way it goes, on the physical side and on the emotional side, it's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation. So what I am advocating for is for you to stop being possessive of your trauma. Stop. You do not get any awards. You don't get any brownie points. You don't get anything by being possessive of it and being too scared to do something about it. Grow up. Grow up. And do something about the things that have hurt you, so you are not another house on the street that is in shambles, that is abandoned, that is at risk of being burned down. You're lowering the property value for the whole entire neighborhood. How about that? Because you're sitting over there with a house full of boxes and BS. Stop being possessive of that stuff. And then you sitting over here, well, I don't want nobody to see this stuff. Girl, don't nobody care about that stuff. Let's get it out. I don't want nobody to see my records. Like, trust me, we don't care. We just trying to help you out because it's not even human to live like that. I know y'all seen those episodes of Hoarders, and those people are living in houses with animals and animal poo, and that's not human. That's not human. And the same way you would look at that episode of Hoarders and say, yuck, that's disgusting. Look at all that stuff that she has and blah, 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 blah. And that's a mental illness and that's a mental disease. It's the same thing that you have with the emotional trauma that has wrecked your life, that you've been carrying since childhood. Bloop. You don't have to carry that anymore. Do something. Grow up. Choose evolution. Choose transition. Choose to be better than you were yesterday. Choose to be better than you were 10 years ago. So I know that I have a way with my words. And I know that, I just speak frankly and blah, blah, blah. And I used to feel bad about it. This is just a note. I used to feel bad about it. I used to be like, I wish I could say these things more gently or with more care. I wish I could say it not as like direct. But I started working with some African priestesses and African priests or Babas, and these people are cutthroat. So I just realized I'm truly an African goddess. I'm the African goddess queen. Because I don't have no chaser. I don't have any filter. I'm just going to say what's on my heart. And my heart is really ablaze with fire. So if it cuts a little bit, just know it's receive it with love. Because it's cutting with love. So yes. And Goddess Ebony says, I just journal about saying things more gentle and compassionate. I feel like, sometimes when it comes to certain things, part of the problem is that people are not willing to speak directly. So people like me, I feel far few and in between. I feel like it's not a lot of people like me who just gonna be like, listen, you got a whole lot of shit in your house. Like, people not gonna do that. I feel like people have been overly sensitive and like, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay because some of you let partners in the house and then you let children in the house and these children living in this hoarding filth. You're trying to raise these kids and it's hoarded and everything it's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not fair to you. How you gonna have dinner there? How you wonder why you don't have no friends? Of course you don't have no friends. Who want to come over? Who want to be friends with somebody who live like that? Make it make sense. Stop being in possession of your trauma. Stop hoarding it. Stop being so possessive about it. It's really time to let it go. It's really time to release it. Okay? So with that being said, that is it. If nobody has any questions, then I am going to close on out. But before I do, I will say, go ahead and cop. I don't even know if I can make a comment here. Can I make a comment? No, I don't think the person on video can comment. That sucks. Well, I'll leave a comment on afterwards so that if you like, I know most of you are going to watch this on replay. So that if you like, you can go ahead and download a copy of my book, Goddess Awakening, which is on Audible and on Kindle. But I would suggest getting it on Audible because it's just bomb on Audible. Like, Audible is a bomb app, and it allows you to listen and to connect to what I'm saying. And me being the speaker that I am, it's going to really resonate with you. So definitely download it on Audible. And the suggestion is always to join the Compassion Course. So if you would like to join the Compassion Course, feel free to join it. We are open for enrollment at the time being. And add me on Instagram, Goddess Queen Ja As. Peace and blessings. I love you all. I'll see you sooner rather than later.